Good afternoon to you. Today we will continue with Constitution, Parliamentary privileges. In the last class, we have seen that the members of Parliament enjoy absolute freedom of speech and expression within the four walls of the Parliament, and they enjoy absolute immunity from the judicial process with regard to any vote given by them, either in the Parliament or in any parliamentary committee. You may perhaps recall that in P.V. Narasimha Rao versus Union of India, which is popularly known as JMM case, Supreme Court held that the members of Parliament who had taken bribe and voted in Parliament against the no confidence motion brought against the government were entitled to the protection given under Article 105 and were not answerable in any court of law for the alleged conspiracy and agreement. It was also held that the members of Parliament who had given bribe but not voted on the no confidence motion were not entitled to the protection under Article 105, and appropriate action can be initiated against them under the relevant law. This is the decision given by the Supreme Court, as you know. So under this, remember, the Parliament members are free to exercise any vote in any committee in any favor. Nobody can question it. And the parliamentary privileges, by and large, can be divided into two categories. Number one, those which are enjoyed by each House of Parliament collectively. Secondly, those which are enjoyed by the members of Parliament individually. So, two types. One is collective freedom and the other is individual freedom. Now, let us see the collective freedom. What are all the privileges belonging to each House of Parliament collectively? Number one, it has the right to publish its report, debate, and proceedings, and also the right to prohibit others from publishing the same. In fact, 44th Amendment Act 1978 restored the freedom of press to publish the true report of the parliamentary proceedings without the prior permission of the House. But this is not applicable in the case of the secret sitting of Lok Sabha. Second point you should remember is this House can, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, whichever House, they have the powers to exclude the strangers from its proceedings and also to hold secret sittings to discuss any matter of secrecy. It can make rules to regulate its own proceedings and also conduct the business and adjudicate upon such matters. The House can punish members as well as outsiders for the breach of its privilege and also contempt by reprimand, admonition, and even imprisonment. In this connection, perhaps again you can recall a very popular, in fact notorious case relating to Keshav Singh versus Union of India, happened in 1964 in Uttar Pradesh when Sucheta Kriplani was the Chief Minister. Keshav Singh was a resident of Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, which is 300 kilometers from Lucknow. He was a worker of the Socialist Party. On one occasion, he published a pamphlet entitled Exposing the Misdeeds of a Congress MLA, one Mr. Pandey. He alleged that Pandey, the Congress MLA, was totally corrupt, and the brochure was largely distributed in the vicinity of Assembly of Lucknow. This did not go well with the Congress members. So they got very much angry and they complained to the speaker, and they opined that it constituted the breach of privilege. Accordingly, the assembly ordered Keshav Singh and his colleagues to appear before the assembly in Lucknow to receive a reprimand. While his colleagues promptly appeared before the assembly and accepted the warning, Keshav Singh failed to do so, citing that he has no money to travel from Gorakhpur to Lucknow, which was around 300 kilometers. On hearing this, the assembly passed a resolution that Keshav Singh be arrested and produced before the assembly in March. This happened in March 1964. When Keshav Singh was brought before the assembly, Speaker repeatedly asked Keshav Singh to confirm his name. He was on the witness bar. The Keshav Singh sternly refused to answer. Speaker asked his name 2 or 3 times. He refused to answer. Instead, the pity, he stood with his buttocks turning to the speaker and remained silent as the questions are posed to him by the speaker. Matters went worst. Speaker brought this to the attention of the House. In the meanwhile, Keshav Singh wrote a letter to the speaker saying that the warrant of arrest against him is Nadir the Shahi. Nadir Shahi, that means tyrannical. Nadir Shahi. By then, Chief Minister Sucheta Kriplani moved a motion sentencing Keshav Singh 7 days imprisonment. Until 18 March 1964, he kept quiet. 1 day prior to the release, one of his close friend of Keshav Singh filed a habeas corpus writ petition before Allahabad High Court. The petition alleged that Keshav Singh was not given any opportunity to be heard and his personal liberty has been deprived of, the personal liberty having been guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution. The case was heard by the 2 judges and one advocate, Solomon, appeared on behalf of Keshav Singh. In the meanwhile, the assembly at Lucknow passed another resolution that both the judges and the advocate who argued the Keshav Singh's case should be arrested and brought before the House because they have committed gross breach of privilege of the House. On the night of the day, full bench of Allahabad High Court met and stayed the orders of the assembly, and they decided against the implementation of the order of the assembly. But remember, the issue was finally resolved by President of India by referring this case to the Supreme Court for its advice under Article 143 of the Constitution. The question is, who is supreme? Whether legislature is supreme or judiciary is supreme. This was a question mooted before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court finally declared that the Constitution is supreme. Everybody is subservient to the fundamental right. No organ in the Constitution has the superiority. It is shown the fundamental rights given in the Constitution. That is how the dispute between the legislature and the judiciary was settled. So, and not only that, this is not a new case. Similarly, so many times such cases have been conducted, and most importantly, the House has the powers to suspend a member under Rule 373, 374, 374A of the Rules of Procedure of the House. I am talking about the Lok Sabha procedure, which we have already seen. And under these rules, the Speaker can name the member, and the member being named, he should withdraw from the House immediately. While Speaker has the powers under Rule 373 and 374A, the House has the powers under Article 3 Rule 374. In fact, as you know, so far 15 members of Parliament, 15 members of Parliament have been expelled by Parliament. The latest being Vijay Mallya, who was expelled from Rajya Sabha on the recommendations of Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha in April 2016. The other 14 members include the first member of Parliament who was expelled was H.G. Mudgal for accepting money for favors. Then Subramanya Swamy also was expelled for his derogatory remarks against the legislature. 10 members of Lok Sabha and one member of Rajya Sabha were also expelled for cash on Kori scam. As we have seen, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, no less a person than Mrs. Indira Gandhi, was expelled from Lok Sabha in 1978 for breach of privilege of Parliament. In fact, along with Mrs. Gandhi, jailed till the prorogation of the House, the R.K. Dhawan and D. Sen, the then CBI director. Similarly, Lok Sabha expelled 10 members of 10 members for scandal on receiving money for putting questions. Thus, the Parliament has abundant powers to punish both the members of the House as well as outsiders for contempt of Parliament. The court cannot inquire into the validity of the proceedings of Parliament. This has been made abundantly clear in Article 122 of the Constitution. Similarly, both the Houses of Parliament have the right to receive immediate information of the arrest, detention, conviction, imprisonment and release of the members of Parliament. All parliamentary committees are empowered to send for persons, papers and records relevant for the purpose of inquiry by the committee. A witness can be summoned by the committee who may be required to produce such documents as may be prescribed in the rules. We will end the class. We will continue with the other portions of Constitution in the next class. Thank you.